World War II Project, Aunica Vargas, number 31, Miss Della O, period 5. Hitler and Germany's invasions, a brutal start. Adolf Hitler, a former jobless soldier, one day decided to join the Nazi Party, one for struggling German workers. He soon proved to be a good fit for the leadership position of the party. The beliefs of Hitler's Nazi Party was the basis of German fascism. Hitler believed it would be best to create a quote-unquote master race of pure blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryans. He also wanted more Lebensraum for Germany, or living space. In order to fulfill his wishes, Hitler commanded the German army to create an alliance with Austria and then invade, later following with the Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia, which was mainly lived in by Germans, claiming they were being mistreated. After using the Blitzkrieg technique or lightning war to invade Poland, Germany and the Soviet Union conquered the majority of Europe. Also, along with Italy, Germany attacked France and solely attacked Britain. The Holocaust, a recent tragedy never forget. In order to find a scapegoat, Hitler blamed the Jewish people for Germany's loss in World War I, as well as economic problems, which started his plan to enforce his pure Aryan quote-unquote master race. After the Nuremberg Laws, which were established in 1938 to restrict Jewish freedoms, Hitler decided he wanted all the Jewish people to emigrate in order to rid of them. No country could take all the Jewish people, leading to segregated ghettos where Hitler hoped they would just die off. As Hitler grew impatient and the Jewish people resisted, he created his quote-unquote final solution, in which he would rid of the inferior groups, not just Jews, by mass genocide in concentration and death camps. In concentration and death camps, people would die of starvation, overwork, torture, and in gas chambers, ultimately killing around 6 million people. Japan's invasions, Asia Sparks War. In 1940, Japan signed the Tripartite Pact with Germany and Italy, creating a mutual defense treaty in what was known as the Axis powers. Hideki Chojo, the chief of staff of Japan's Kwantung Army, pushed to invade China through unprotected French, Dutch, and British colonies, in attempts to unite all of East Asia, following up with the invasion of French military bases in Indochina. The United States, in reaction to Japan's aggression, decided to cut off trade with Japan, restricting Japanese access to oil. Tojo, now angered, claimed to Hirohito, Japan's emperor at the time, that he would maintain peace with the US. But on the other hand, he was planning a secretly coded attack on the US in which Japan bombed the military base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, erupting war. The atomic bombs and their impact, destruction in the blink of an eye. Though Japan was open for Allied forces to invade, the strength of the Japanese army would get in the way. In order to wear them down, President Truman wanted to use the newly created weapon, the atomic bomb, developed by scientists during the Manhattan Project, led by General Leslie Groves and scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer. Testing of the top-secret war weapon began on July 16, 1945, in Alamogordo, New Mexico, with a deafening explosion and an enormous mushroom cloud. The U.S. warned Japan of ultimate destruction if they did not surrender, in which they didn't. The U.S. dropped the first bomb on Hiroshima, codenamed quote-unquote Little Boy, and in under a minute turned the whole city into ruins and dust. Within the week, the U.S. dropped their second bomb, codenamed quote-unquote Fat Man, on Nagasaki, destroying half the city. Injuries from the blast, along with poisoning from the radiation, were the leading causes of about 200,000 deaths. The Yalta Conference, the beginning of the end. Stalin, President Roosevelt, and Prime Minister Churchill, aka the Big Three, met in the city of Yalta to discuss everything post-war and what would happen to Germany. This meeting lasted 8 days. Churchill disagreed with Stalin's approach of splitting Germany up into areas controlled by the Allied powers. Roosevelt, desperately wanting Stalin's support, acted as a neutral to help them come to a conclusion. Roosevelt wanted to negotiate, as this was before the atomic bombing on Japan. He wanted the Soviet Union's support in fighting against Japan, and he wanted Stalin's support in creating a new world peace organization, soon to be known as the United Nations. To conclude the meeting, Churchill and Roosevelt gained Stalin's support in aiding them against Japan, gained his support in organizing a new world peace, and he agreed to attend a meeting being held in San Francisco about the United Nations. So my first image is a picture of Hitler walking through his supporters in Germany. My second picture is the sign to the entrance of the most popular and populated liberation camp, Auschwitz, and it means work will set you free, ironically. My third picture is a photograph of Japanese kamikaze pilots from World War II. My fourth picture is the aftermath on Hiroshima after the atomic bombing of quote-unquote little boy. And my final picture is Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin at the Yalta Conference. For my vocabulary words, I chose number 1, Aryan, which is a Caucasian person of Nordic descent. My second word is anti-Semitism, or the intense dislike for and prejudice against Jewish people. My third word is fascism, which is a political theory advocating an authoritarian government. My fourth word is kamikaze, or a fighter plane used for suicide missions by Japanese pilots. And my fifth word is VE Day, the date of the Allied victory in Europe, World War II. Thank you.